Hey guys, and happy Sunday. So today I'm going to be working on the fridge that goes with the purple stove that I made. I will be using some of this cake board that I used in the other one, in the stove, but it's optional. I have a couple other or another way that I'm going to do it. So the first thing that I'm going to use is these two like acrylic storage bins that I got from the Dollar Tree. You can get them in like the storage area, or sometimes they have them with like the toiletries and all that stuff. But I did have these little hinges that I got on Amazon, and I glued those on. So I did that in advance because I needed them to dry. Then I'm using some balsa wood, but you can also use the cake board. But this balsa wood I got from a friend of mine. I guess she was getting rid of it, or they had a bunch of it and she gave me a bunch of it. So I'm using that because it's been sitting around. And then I'm using two of these little crates from the Dollar Tree, one of the bigger ones and one of the smaller ones. And for the smaller one, I'm going to pull off one of the long sides. I did that in advance because I have to stick it in the microwave so that it doesn't break the wood. But yeah, so I did that in advance. But again, you'll need a big one and a small one. And then the small one is going to fit inside the big one. But again, if you don't have crates, you can either make everything out of balsa wood or you can use the cake boards and cut up all the pieces. You will need about two of the cake boards. So, and there's that. So I'm going to take the one longer of the shorter pieces, if that makes sense, of the balsa wood. I cut it down so that it's just a little bit bigger on each side of the crate, and I'm going to glue it on to the part that I took the piece off of. So the long side that I took the side off of, I wanted this to be a little bit bigger so that it can make like a drawer. So I'm using the bigger piece. I'm just going to use this cement. I'm sorry for the lighting. I didn't realize that it was kind of weird there, but anyway, so yeah, I'm going to glue that on there. And I always forget to say this at the beginning. If you're new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. I'm working on some stuff now. I will be doing a collab over on TikTok. So if you're not following me over there, be sure to check it out because there's going to be a lot of creators making a bunch of mini Valentines. It's actually called my mini Valentine. So definitely go check me out there so you can see everyone else and what they're creating as well. And so once I glue this piece on to the front of that crate, like I said, it's going to be used to make a drawer. So you can even use this for other things, not just for this fridge. It works out great. They fit in there perfectly. And yeah, so it works. So if you saw my stove video, I used the same little plastic piece. It's from some toys my son got for Christmas. It's just the part of the plastic that like little pieces were popped out of. That's what I'm using. I just cut it out, and that's what I use to make the handle for my oven. Well, I'm using the same one to make the handle for my fridge drawer, and then for the doors I'm using this piece right here. It's just another piece from something else that he got. Just trying to use up stuff that I have, showing you that you don't have to go out and buy a bunch of stuff. Just look around and you can find stuff around your house that you can use. If you don't have this, you can also use like skewers and just kind of cut two small pieces for the part that are going to stick to the refrigerator door or to whatever to make the handle, and then a longer one to connect those two, and you can make a handle that way, or you can just find something else that kind of resembles a handle, whatever you have. But I had these and I thought they were perfect, so I'm using those, and then I'm just gluing those onto the door. um, Again, to make handles. So, I just measured it out, made sure that I had them both the same way. And then I am going to paint them, or yeah, paint them. I think I'm going to go with silver. I think I'm going to use silver to kind of match the sides of the quote unquote stainless steel on the refrigerator. I've had so much fun making these items. Now, I don't usually do like Barbie size stuff, but for Christmas, I got a Barbie size um, dollhouse that my husband gave me that I'd been wanting for a while. And so I needed some stuff to go in there. So I figured why not take the opportunity and make some stuff and show you guys. But usually all my other dollhouses are like 1/12 scale, so a much smaller scale. But anyway, if you don't have balsa wood, you can use the cake boards that I used in the stove or anything cardboard. Um, Anything that you have foam board. A lot of people use foam board for their dollhouses. Particularly, I don't prefer it personally. Just because for me, I'm a little heavy handed, so foam board tends to break and stuff. So anyway, so I'm cutting up, measuring these out. You can make them whatever size you want. So I don't usually give measurements because I don't usually measure things out. I just wanted to make sure these pieces were they were both the same size. That's the only reason I measured, but they were about 11 and a half, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have to kind of measure the crate to see, some of them are different sizes. So you have to just make sure you're getting the size that fits around all the pieces, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. But I'm going to take the two longer pieces and glue the shorter piece on top of it to make like a cabinet kind of. So it's like a U shape. And you'll see here what I'm talking about. So I took the longer piece and glued it across the edge of the shorter one, and then took the other one and did the same thing. Some of my footage got lost somewhere, but I glued that piece to a piece of the cake board, just like I'm showing you here. And that is going to be the like surrounding of the fridge. So that's how I did that. So I'm going to make sure that that's all nice and straight, make sure it's dry. So I'm going to put that to the side, put something heavy on it so that it sticks. And I'm using this cement glue that I got at Dollar Tree, and it works really well. It gives you a little bit of um, time to like move things around in case you kind of set it the wrong way. It does need time to dry. It's not like super glue, so it does give you have some leeway with when you put it down and it's sticking permanently. So that's why I like using it for stuff like this. It dries clear and it works great. If I didn't show you, it's in my other video. It works great. So again, I'm just going to put that to the side, let it dry, put something heavy on it because again, it has to set. But this stuff is really, really good, and you could kind of see it when I'm using it throughout the video. It's a little yellow black tube called like something cement. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to work on next because my brain it was late and I was tired. So I'm just trying to figure out like, okay, what piece do I want to do next? And then I figured, you know what, let me start with the base. That way I can have something to put everything on. So I took the bigger crate and then I got a piece of that cake board and I cut a piece to fit across it, but left a little bit of room on the top, like a little lip, so that the doors of the fridge can kind of sit over it and have some room to open. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue that piece. So that's the little tube of glue I'm running out. I need to go buy another one. Um, Again, it's like cement and you get it in the hardware section of the Dollar Tree. I showed it in my last video or in a video somewhere. So definitely if you want some glue, it works really well. It holds really well, but again, it does have to dry. So anyway, I keep digressing, but yeah, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to put that piece of cake board. That way it looks, you're not seeing wood under there. So it looks like a little stainless steel at the bottom there. And again, I needed that lip for the doors to kind of sit over so that they can open, because when I tried just sitting it on there, the 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 little bins, the little acrylic bins, are kind of angled or whatever, so they don't just sit straight. So you have to just make sure you account for that. So that's why I have that little lip at the front of it. And yeah, so it worked out great. So once you get that glued on there, then you just set it to the side, let that dry. It does dry kind of quick, but you do have to let it set. It takes a few hours before it's fully, stuck. So now I'm going to work on these handles, and again, I'm going to paint them silver. I got this silver marker at the Dollar Tree. You can use paint or do whatever color you want to use, but these work great. They dry quick, and I really like the color that it gives. So I'm just going to go ahead and paint all the handles with this silver. And if you don't have some tiny tweezers and you make dollhouse stuff, you definitely need a pair. And I actually think these were ones that I got at Dollar Tree, these little tweezers. So they were, again, in the hardware section, and it came with an angled one and then just like a straight pointy one. So definitely get yourself a pair, a set, because you need them when you're working with little things. I have pretty big hands and then my nails and stuff. So sometimes it's hard to grab things or like put things. If you're trying to like set up your houses or put things together, it's hard because they're so small. But again, painting these, and then once they're done being painted, then I'm going to go ahead and glue them onto the doors and the drawers and all that good stuff. So the longer two, of course, are going to go on the refrigerator doors. And I went back and forth about whether I wanted to cover my refrigerator doors, and decided I kind of like the way that the clear doors look like, those newer like doors, fridges with like the windows and stuff. So I like being able to see everything inside the fridge, but you can always cover it up or just take it off completely and make your own door. This is just kind of an idea of what I did. And of course, you can adjust it and make it how you want to, with whatever you have. Again, if you don't have these pieces, I know sometimes it's hard to find these pieces at the Dollar Tree. These are pretty consistent at mine. Sometimes they'll run out, but they're always in stock at one of my Dollar Trees. So I thought this would be a pretty good way to, or piece to use, because I know you can usually find them. So, and again, they're the perfect size with the base for Barbies. So, and if you don't use Barbies, then without the base, it'll be perfect for regular, like smaller dolls. So yes, I'm going to sit those aside to dry so that the handles can dry up, and then get the surround, I guess that's what it would be called, the surround for the refrigerator. Just kind of make sure everything fits in there and it fits perfect. So the only thing that I realized was that there is some space. The drawer, like the little crates, are a little bit too small or not as wide or deep as I needed it to be. So I did have to add some little pieces of like scrap cardboard or scrap pieces of the foam. What is it called? The cake board. But you can use foam board, you can use blocks, you can use whatever you have, like Jenga blocks or anything like that. Um, because there was like a little gap once I put everything together. It just needed some more space so that the doors could open. And I guess I didn't account for it. I didn't think about it. But yeah, it didn't fit perfectly. So maybe um, you don't have to cut the surround as wide or as deep. You can make it smaller. Just kind of measure. I eyeball everything, which then leads me to have to make adjustments along the way. And I'm fine with it. It's not a big deal. You don't see it when you're making it. So you see how this kind of sits in there and there's no space at the front there. I wasn't able to like open the fridge doors, so I had to adjust. Again, I don't measure, and that's my fault that I ended up having to make a lot of adjustments, but not a big deal. It's not a big deal at all. So see that space in the back? I need that little bit of space in the back so that the fridge doors can open. And you'll see here in a minute what I did to kind of fix it. Or maybe I took it out. I don't know. I did put a piece of that cake board across the top. I glued it on there just to kind of hold the pieces together. And now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should have put a piece along the bottom as well, just to kind of hold everything together. But it's fine. It works out fine. I just needed them to be. So you see those little pieces in the back there? That's what I use to kind of give it the depth that I needed so that the doors can open. And that's pretty much it, guys. You know, you kind of just adjust everything, see how everything works. The doors do open, but the hinges were still drying, so I didn't want to do that yet. But you'll see in the pictures that the doors do open, and it works out great. So I will be making next probably the sink and maybe some cabinets. I'm not sure yet. So stay tuned for that. And again, check me out over on TikTok. My info is in my description box because there's going to be a My Mini Valentine coming up, and it's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited to be a part of it. And, but yeah, so this is what it looks like. This is how it turned out. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Again, hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. And that is it for today. Until next time, be blessed and be the reason someone smiles. Bye.